Next, speaking of Kim Iversen, trans activist Esperanza debated Kim Iversen, and from what I understand, it got pretty crazy. Let's listen to a little bit of it.
Of women, which they consider to be a class. But, just to be fair, Kim, I think that one of the reasons why people were calling you transphobic was because, one, you were attempting to argue for the right to dead name transgender people. And two, because, you speak on trans issues without having necessarily even done basic investigation. For example, arguing on Twitter that if a trans child doesn't ask for puberty blockers, that they're in a phase. You didn't even know what the acronym TERF standed for. And I think that this is a part of a broader problem with political commentary in our country, where there's no rigorous investigation demanded as a prerequisite to speak on issues. And you have people who are influencing public opinion who don't even do basic research. And I think that that's a big problem.
Do you not think that there is an increase in children, young or teens, saying that they feel that they're non-binary, or that they feel like they're the other gender? I mean, are we seeing an increase in that? And I guess then the question is that an increase because because it's a phase? I mean, I do think that teenagers go through phases. I think that's I don't think I need to do.
Why is Kim Iversen so annoying? Like, I just don't care what, it's like, okay, you have terrible ideas about everything. Why would anyone listen to you?
Too much more research on that to know that. I think most of us know that teenagers go through phases. What they then choose to make their phase tends to be the fad of the era. That is how it is. It doesn't diminish or it doesn't diminish the fact that that whatever it is they're latching on to exists and is a reality for certain groups of people. It just means that they're saying, oh, okay, well, that's me now. That's what I feel like. I'm maybe, and it could be any number of things or any number of things that they want to try out or any number of things they want to do. So I don't know, certainly I guess there would be a question on, is there an increase in...
Who's the host? Is the host in the upper right? Is this the show this is happening on, Bad Faith?
Kids coming out and saying to their parents, I'm feeling a certain way. Is there an increase of that because the society's more open, or is it, and so they feel like they can say things? And I know that's been an argument in the past for example, about whether or not somebody they feel like they can come out as gay or...
What is she talking about?
Something. Or is that, or do you think that there's
this all is seeming pretty bad faith, I'll have to say.
Influence in society. And I think that is where, what I was coming from. But to be labeled a transphobe for expressing an opinion, I think is my ultimate and, overall problem and what I'm saying about the activist group that constantly then goes after people and says...
I'm pretty sure, that thing about how, like, if you put 1,000 monkeys in front of 1,000 typewriters, eventually they'd write Macbeth. I think that was how this diatribe was generated. It's random monkeys typing words.
Well, now you're a bigot because you asked a question or because you have a thought. I can disagree with somebody. And this is what kind of the overall problem I had with the with that segment going viral and people then calling me names, is that we've reached a point in society, and it's not new. This is
how long has she been talking?
Happening. It's new. It's newer on the left. It used to happen a lot on the right, but we've reached a point where, if you question anything, if you just say, look, I don't agree, suddenly I'm a bigot. But why can't I not be a bigot and not agree with you?
Well, and I want to say too that, we could discuss the reasons why, for example, younger adults are more likely than older adults to identify as transgender. We could discuss those trends, but there needs to be a level of rigor, a level of scientific rigor that is demanded of people who have platforms, who are influencing public opinion. Otherwise, these conversations are just going to be like a sheet that you hold up in the wind, and whichever the way the wind blows, your opinion is going to be influenced. And that could be extremely harmful, especially when you're talking about a group such as transgender people who are disproportionately discriminated against, harassed, and, killed in our society. And again, that's why I think, let's not be juvenile here. I get hate all the time on Twitter. But we can't pretend like that's the reason that, you know, violence against transgender people exists. I mean, the state has repressed transgender people and gender variant, gender diverse people since before the trans movement ever arose. So historically speaking, that just simply cannot be the reason for anti-trans violence, right? Because it existed before the activist movement did.
Well, let me see if I can tease out a couple of things here.
All right. Well, yeah. So that's that. I mean, I guess I don't know how much more there is really to say about it, but there's Kim Iversen with opinions about trans. I mean, she's entitled to her opinions, and I don't even know what else to say about it.